It's not easy to take hundreds of people carrying skis with razor-sharp edges, walking around in huge clunky plastic boots, and get them on and off a train safely.
The route, it starts in Denver Union Station and goes straight to the resort, and we let all the skiers off right there a few feet away from the lift.
On the way up, we're riding alongside the very highway that you drive to go into Winter Park. And it is bumper to bumper traffic. So I got on the pier, I said, ladies and gentlemen, wave bye.
Oh! This is a special train because we only have it between January through March, and then it's over. It's gone in the blink of an eye.
The Winter Park Express, it's such an important part of Denver history and Colorado history.
We had another wonderful example of how the community comes together. I believe there's nothing that you cannot achieve if everybody works together for the common goal. Then there's nothing you can't achieve.
On a typical day on the Winter Park Express, my alarm clock will ring at 3:50 a.m. At that point, I have to immediately get up because if I hit snooze, I'll never make it to work. Get dressed, make sure I've got the right uniform. There's over 100 items that I have to have when I work this train, and I've got to make sure that I don't leave any of them behind. Come to this train, unlock it, make sure that everything is in tip-top shape for the customers to enjoy, and then we welcome the customers aboard. We load the customers from about 6 a.m. until 7 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad the conductor speaking. It is now 6:58 and 45 seconds according to my watch, and we are going to depart in about 40 seconds. Watch your step. Ski train, highball, signal indication, over. The train leaves at exactly 7 o'clock on the permissions that we've already gotten. We are going to have perhaps one of the greatest ski days of the year. We've got glorious snow. It should be really good weather. And you're not on Interstate 70. Thank you.
And we're not on I-70.
The route, it starts in Denver Union Station and goes straight to the resort, and we let all the skiers off right there a few feet away from the lift.
Okay, let's go fix a broken door. The conductor on a passenger train, hi guys, is the captain of the ship. The locomotive engineer controls the locomotives and makes it go, but the conductor is the one that tells that engineer when to go and when to stop. Ski train passing the outer opposing limits, shove another 12, over. 12. So in a real world sense, the conductor not only makes sure that the train gets to where it's going and lets passengers off safely, and welcomes passengers aboard safely, but also is the de facto law enforcement on the train. All right, barcode time. Then we finally get onto Union Pacific tracks. We're talking to the dispatchers and the yardmasters to get all that done. We go up into the mountains. I make a few scenic awareness announcements. We are high above South Boulder Creek now. This is an area where there's some unbelievable mountain climbing and great outdoor opportunity, but nobody in Boulder County ever gets here. And it is just exclusive for us on the train. I think there's nothing more unique about the ski train than the fact that a person can get to and from the resort stress-free.
My big thing is not having to drive. That's why I like the ski train. Okay, so if everyone should ride the ski train at least once.
It's a great way to just spend a day without no hassle whatsoever. You don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to pay for parking. You don't have to deal with traffic. Yeah, it's just super convenient to ride this train.
Usually my friends and I will get up at 4 in the morning to try to beat the traffic, and you're still sitting bumper to bumper in some areas of the mountain. So this is definitely way better because I feel 2 hours is like nothing compared to sometimes how bad the traffic gets.
It is stress trying to drive on Interstate 70 or Berthoud Pass. To be able to sit on the ski train and just relax and watch the world go by while somebody else does the driving.
We decided to take the ski trip just to experience something new. You know, we're from Florida, so we don't really see like the mountains and the snow and all that. So just like a new experience, just to say we did something, just a family trip.
Folks, as we finish our last couple of miles before the Moffet Tunnel, do know that we like to have everybody suited up, geared up, and ready to step off the train when we come to a stop. That stop is in about 20 minutes. Thank you. So as we go through the Moffet Tunnel for 10 minutes, everybody's getting dressed. Then once we arrive at the resort, they just step off the train and their skis and boards are outside waiting for them to just grab and go. And literally within a few steps, they're buckling into their bindings and heading up the hill. The railroads in Colorado started in the early 1870s, actually late 1860s, when we were bypassed by the Union Pacific Railroad when it was building the Transcontinental Rail Line, the first one. And they went through Cheyenne, Wyoming, rather than Colorado. And so a bunch of the leaders of Denver, which was at the time barely even a town, decided to build their own railway south from Cheyenne to Denver. And the very first locomotive was called the David Moffett, named after one of the spearheads of the businessmen that were able to get the financing together to build that railway down to Denver. Once the railway reached Denver, it was possible to take narrow gauge lines up into the mining fields of the Rocky Mountains. As they got those rails up in there, they realized that the beautiful, stunning winter snowscape wasn't just a burden that they had to overcome, but an opportunity for fun.
I mean, it started over 4,500 years ago in Norway. That's the first place where skiing started. So in 1905, a couple of Norwegians wanting to improve their lives came to USA looking for a job. And so they came out to Denver. And they see the mountains over here, and then now this is looking better. Now this is more like what we had in mind. And so they finally got on a train, one of Moffett's trains, and they got to Hot Silver Springs, and they saw these city folks, these town folk, having a little winter party. And they said, what are you guys doing? Can we show you what we did in Norway? Can we build a ski jump? Sure, have at it. So they built a little ski jump, and they come flying off that little hill out there, Maggie Hill, at Hot Silver Springs, and there was a ski jump. And everybody had a good time.
And the very first winter carnival happened in Hot Sulphur Springs in the first decade of the 1900s.
The whole town got into it. So they advertised it, and guess what? They sold 2,200 tickets, $1.75 each.
It was an absolute success, advertised by the Rocky Mountain News and the Denver Post, and thousands of people started going into the mountains by train to enjoy sports in the snow. That's when it started.
The ski train started coming up in like 1912-ish. Back in those days, the road over the mountains wasn't paved, so it was pretty treacherous, especially in the winter.
In 1904, when David Moffett's men first went over the Continental Divide, they built this spectacular train line called the Rollins Pass Cutoff. But it was treacherous, 4% grades, sharp curves, reaching an altitude of 11,600 feet above sea level. Absolutely brutal to try and keep coal-fired steam engines hot enough to be able to make the transition in winter. There were wrecks, there were difficulties, there were snow slides. It was a constant battle.
Then the Moffet Tunnel, which is the tunnel that goes through the Continental Divide, was finished in about 1927. It's about 6.2 miles long. It was constructed at a time when it didn't have the equipment and things that we do now. So it took multiple years, and it's been in operation ever since.
So I think, here's, for instance, the kind of picture that defines what has to go on. They didn't yet have that tunnel drilling capability that we have today, where you have the thing creating its own tube as it goes in. So as you went, you had to put in the shoring, especially on the western side, because the mountain was sort of falling in on you otherwise. We know it today as being a rail tunnel. We know it as being a water conveyance tunnel. So if you look at it in those terms, it's important. But if you think about what it represented for its time, particularly to Denver, up until this tunnel gets completed, you either go south to get around and into the mountains, or you go north to get around and into the mountains. And this finally gives you the opportunity to just go into the mountains and pretty much straight across. We're better today at sort of thinking about tunnels and stuff in terms of highways. Eisenhower Tunnel, we've all been through that. It's considered a big engineering feat too, but it's not even 2 miles long. So the thing about this is simply the length.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our best view right here of the Indian and James Peak wildernesses. Look at those white covered mountains. We're going to go right underneath them when we plunge into the Moffet Tunnel and go 6.2 miles underneath the Continental Divide to emerge out at Winter Park Ski Resort. Thank you. In 1928, once the Moffet Tunnel was finished, it freed the northwestern part of the state of Colorado to legitimate, convenient transportation that truly did transform the entire part of the state.
The railroad had some good ideas that, how can they sell excursion trains, and they would take skiers just up to ski. And so the trains became popular, and they kind of thought, well, this is a nice area to put in a ski resort.
It was a perfect place for people from Denver to be able to ride the train, get off of the train, enjoy their park, and then go back that same day. And in 1936, the very first ski train ran from Denver to Winter Park for people to ski on a rope tow.
The Moffet Tunnel made it even easier for the train to get to this area, and then Winter Park opened in 1940.
One of the reasons Winter Park was so successful and it was built where it was built is because there was train service up here.
At the very beginning, there were simply excursions, usually sponsored by a newspaper, that would go to winter carnivals. Starting in 1940, the Rio Grande started calling the train the Rio Grande Ski Train.
The first rendition is this one. This is the Ski Train 1.0, I call it. The first rendition would have the 1914 coaches, heavyweight. They're, just held over from way back when. I've been involved in like 4 different ski train renditions over the course of about 40 years. I started the ski train in 1980. I was 8 years old, and I was a member of the Eskimo Ski Club. It was a club that took school-age kids from Denver to ride the train to Winter Park to learn how to ski.
Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, the ski train was youth-oriented and dominated by the Eskimo Ski Club, whose ages ranged from 7 to 17.
I knew it was an exciting time for sure, and I knew it was a lot of chaos, but I met a lot of friends along the way, and I knew that there was something big here, and so I wanted to be a part of it. And so I met a lot of friends, and we organized a candy company on the train to operate and sell candy to the passengers, and that's kind of how I got one of my starts. This is one of my first times on the train. This was me selling candy out of a suitcase with a bunch of my friends, childhood friends. We'd sell candy, and then we sold pop, and then we decided that we would sell like flavored ice, and then we sold donuts. And we really didn't ask for permission. We just kind of did it, and the railroad really didn't say much, and they bought some donuts for us, and we gave them a discount, and they seemed to be happy.
But Sean was an entrepreneur, and he started, on the ski train selling things, and he became, right up through the ladders.
So there's me back loading the train, getting the train ready Whatever job you needed to do, that's what you do to make this thing run. When I started in about 1980, it was, I think, 8 cars at the time with 1914 coaches that had seen better days.
And so that was a ski train in its early days, so these early cars. And they only had 646 seats. And that's what they used. And those cars were beginning to get in deplorable condition. Philip Anschutz bought the Rio Grande Railroad. First thing you had to look at was the ski train. This thing's a mess, you know, it really is. It is a disgrace. So he sent some scouts out, go find some better cars. And they found a whole train set in Canada and had them brought to Denver November '87.
The new owners of the rail line, the Anschutz Corporation, bought their own train. They made it into a truly glorious and luxurious experience. And at that point, the name was simply the ski train.
The old ski train was still running, was very successful. And after a while, I got a little bit worried what would happen if somebody at Anschutz or Phil Anschutz himself decided that they couldn't do this any longer. And, you know, the answer was, oh, you don't have to worry about that. This will last forever. And those are sort of famous last words.
The ski train operated by Anschutz ended in 2009. It was a terribly sad moment.
There were several challenges that the ski train experienced in 2009 when it closed. We needed a new wheel set, we needed new windows. Union Station was being redeveloped, and so our train no longer fit in the station, so we had to find different locations. They decided to sell the train.
And I stood right out here by the Moffet Tunnel one day watching that thing go into the tunnel for the last time, wondering if we'd ever get another train back.
And the next season, when it didn't restart, is when it really finally hit home that Denver had lost something precious, something irreplaceable, something that nobody else had. In 2013, the renovation of Denver Union Station was complete. That year, it was clear to me and many others that we could possibly restart ski train service. And the obvious company to do it was Amtrak, that had locomotives, that had train cars, that had engineers and conductors in place.
So we continued to search to see if we could find somebody that would do it. And as luck would have it, we didn't find anybody. Brad Schweltzwalder found us.
39. In 2014, when I began putting this proposal together, I called Winter Park Resort. And I just called the regular old public number. I said, listen, I work for Amtrak. I'm trying to put together this idea. I think we can do a ski train. Who's the top guy in charge that I could talk to about this idea? I was put in touch with Gary DeFrange, and he actually took the call.
He told me that he had been a long-term conductor with Amtrak. He had worked as a conductor on the old ski train, and he said, I've thought about this a lot, and I think that if we would put together the right presentation, no guarantees, but I think we could get Amtrak to listen to us and think about running another ski train.
I told him what I wanted to do, and he said, well, I think it's something we should have done a long time ago. Let's do it.
And my conductor, Brad Schweitzer, he came to me about what in the world don't we have the ski train, and that this train operated years ago from Denver right up into the ski lodge, which is Winter Park, Colorado. If you didn't get caught up in the excitement of this young man, something was wrong with you. He really believed in this idea.
Do any of you ever hold your breath when you're inside a tunnel? Yes. All right, get ready. Let's try this once. Hold on, ready? Wait for it. Timing is everything. 3, 2, 1.
We were able to finalize this plan. And then we had something real. And the name we gave the new train was the Winter Park Express.
But we hung in there. It took us about 2.5 years. and we did a trial run.
I believe that was March 17, 2015. We did the test train. We ran out of here on a Saturday. We had 3 coaches, and the test train went perfect, absolutely perfect. So now we're riding up, and we're riding alongside the very highway that you drive to go into Winter Park. And it is bumper to bumper traffic. So I got on the PA, I said, ladies and gentlemen, please look out the right window. You see that bumper to bumper traffic? It's not moving. That could be you. Wave bye. It was fun.
We didn't even advertise that we were going to do it. There was one news report on NPR radio, not even television. Within a couple of hours, it was completely sold out. We added a second day, completely sold out within 2 hours. And demand was there for more. That's when we knew we had something that we had to bring back.
So we proved that there was the demand. And after that, it was putting together all the details, building the platform, getting all of the equipment together, the engines, the train cars, and we kicked off with another train. And here we are today, almost 10 years later.
What makes it special is that the idea came from the men and women that work the train every day, day in and day out. And that's what makes it special. And I think that is also the reason why it is 100% successful.
Apple juice, $13.25.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brad the conductor, we are now starting through a tunnel full of fresh, clean Rocky Mountain air from the western slope.
I was standing out there day one when that train came back through the tunnel. And I had thought several years ago, I saw it leave and I saw it coming back. And when we were able to bring that train back, it was like getting part of our history back.
We had another wonderful example of what the community, when they want something that is good for their community, how the community comes together. I believe there's nothing that you cannot achieve if everybody works together for the common goal. Then there's nothing you can't achieve.
It's almost spiritual. I hope that people go out there and experience the ski train and tell others about it and just experience it, because it's one of the most unique things that you'll experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brad the conductor. Folks, can't tell you how pleased I am to have you aboard. We are going to depart here in just a second.
I plan to retire in October if all goes well, and that will be the end of my professional railroading career. It's a funny thing on a train. The conductor wears the hat and is visible and talks on the PA. I get the recognition, I get noticed, but in reality, the hard work's being done on the trenches in the front line. Our train is going to wrap right around those cars here in just a few minutes.
I have a saying, you never know it's a memory until it's over. So the things that you do, the people that you do it with, you don't know when it's the last opportunity to hang out with them, to enjoy their companionship and their company, the camaraderie, the family. And this is a special train because we only have it January through March, and then it's over. It's, you know, it's gone in the blink of an eye. It's an honor to be able to come out and do this assignment.
Guys, great to have you here. Thanks for coming out and sharing today.
The Winter Park Express has never had an injury of any kind from staff, passengers, or volunteers. We have provided sustainable transportation to Winter Park Ski Resort since 2017 on a regular basis at a profit and a sustainable level of service. And we've gotten over 100,000 people up to that resort without touching congested highways. I feel good about that.
Woo! Okay, everybody sing it together. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend. Further down that line, far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. And I let that lonesome whistle blow. All my blues away. Now, you know, I'll be honest with you. Thinking about all of the people that have been a part of this from the very beginning, going all the way back to the early part of the 20th century, right through the entire Rio Grande ski train, right through Mr. Anschutz making the ski train happen, right through all of the people, and there's hundreds that helped get this train to reinvent ski trains in Colorado, and wondering who are the next many thousands that'll be doing ski trains over the next 100 years. Restricting, prospect, thanks out. And what will those people invent? And what will they do? And how good will it be? That's what I'm thinking about.